Hello, this is Robert, and in this video I'm going to show you how to actually create some C++ source code files and compile them using G++ on the PCC Linux system. So as you can see, I've already logged in using the terminal window, and so I'm using my Mac right now, but if you're using PuTTY on Windows, it's going to be exactly the same. So I have a few files created already. So I'll just list the window, or list my files. And okay, so there's main.cpp, that's a C++ file. And then I have my new file.cpp. Let's go ahead and take a look at what's inside of my new file.cpp. So I'm just going to say cat my new file. And so it's a hello world program, pretty simple. It just outputs hello world and then terminates. If I would like to make some changes to my file, I can go ahead and open it with the Nano text editor, and that's a very simple text editor, and that's really all we need for this class. So I'm going to type Nano, and then I'm going to name the file that I want to open. And now I can edit the file. Okay, so let's say that I would like to add maybe just a simple comment. I'll just put my name on it. Okay, so there's my name. So I've modified the file. If I want to write the file out, I can do Control O. And even though the caret and the O is capitalized, I don't really have to hold down the Shift key in order to write out. You can see write out right here on the bottom of the window right there. So if I hold Control O, then it will allow me to save the file. I'm going to go ahead and cancel because I want to show you that if I do Control X, then it will tell me that I've made some changes, and if I don't save it, then those changes will be lost. So I'll just type Y for yes, and then it allows me a chance to save it. And then since I did Control X, it's actually going to quit Nano. I can go ahead and open Nano without specifying a file, and then it will just create an empty file for me. It's kind of like opening TextEdit or Notepad without specifying what file you want to open. And then if I could create a file here, and it would basically do the same thing with write out, Control O, or Control X. I can also create a brand new file by saying nano, and then I'll just say some file.txt, and then it will automatically save as some file.txt when I do output or quit. Okay, so my new file maybe is not such a good name for a Hello World program, so I'm going to go ahead and rename it. And so on Linux, you say move. So MV for move, and I want to move my new file to hello world.cpp. So now if I do ls-lh, I can see that I now have hello world instead of my new file, because I just basically renamed it with the move command. If I would like to change directories, that's cd. So the cd is the command to change to a new directory, and I can see that I have about 4 different directories right there. So I'll just go ahead and move to multi-file project. And now I can list the items that are in multi-file project. I can see that I have my directory in there, so let's go ahead and do ls-l, and so I can do cd again. This time the directory has a space in the middle, so what I have to do is I have to put double quotes around it in order to move to that directory. Anytime you have a space in the name of a directory, you have to use double quotes around it in order to move to it. So now I'm in this directory. There's nothing in this directory, so when I did ls, there was nothing there. Okay, if I would like to go up one directory, I can use the shortcut, which is 2 dots. So if I say cd ... that is the parent directory. Okay, so now I'm back into multi-file project. I could go back to my home directory with another ... Let's go back to my directory. And instead of retyping the whole thing, there's a shortcut on Linux that you can do. So from here, if I'd like to repeat a command, what I can do is I can hit the up arrow key, and then it will list all of the commands that I have done previously. So I went one too far. I hit the up arrow key one too many times. So now I'd like to go back down one, so I'm going to hit the down arrow key. And this is the one I would like, so I'm just going to redo that command. Okay, if I'd like to go to my home directory, I know that is 2 directories back because right now I'm in my directory, and then that's inside of multi-file project. So if I want to move to my home directory again, I can do cd ... /... and that would put me back into my home directory. If I want to go directly to my directory, I can use a / for that as well. So I can say okay, so I need to list the files because I forgot the names. Okay, so what I can do is I can do cd, but remember that my directory had a space in the name, so I have to use the double quotes around it. So that would be multi-file project / my directory. Okay. So now I'm back into that directory that I was in before. There's also a shortcut for the home directory as well, and that's the tilde key. So if I lose track of where I am and I'd like to just go back to my home directory, all I have to do is cd tilde, and then it will go directly to my home directory. One other thing that I can do is if I lose track of where I am, I can do print working directory. So pwd, and that will tell me the path to where I am currently. Okay, so let's go ahead and list the files in my home directory one more time, and I can see that I now have helloworld.cpp. Well, that's not the program yet, right? It's not executable because there's no X right there in the owner permissions. So what I have to do is I have to start up the G++ compiler. And G stands for GNU, and it's ++ in order to do C++. So G++ came from GCC. And so G++ automatically does some things for C++ programs that you have to do manually if you're using GCC. GCC stands for GNU C compiler. So what we want is G++, and that'll be the GNU C++ compiler. And then what you do is you name your file that you would like to compile. Okay, so if I type return, I didn't give it a name for the executable program that I want it to create, and so there is a default name for that. What it does is it creates a.out. So I'll list the directory one more time, and I can see that I have an executable file, because there's the X right there, a.out, and that is the default name when you don't give G++ an output file name. Let's say I don't want it to be called a.out. Let's say I'd rather it be called hello world. What I can do is I can repeat the command. So the command is almost going to be the same, so I hit the up arrow twice. And what I want to do is I want to do -o, and so that's for output, and I would like to call it hello world. So now, if I list one more time, I should see that I have hello world as a program there. Okay, so in order to start up a program on Linux, all you have to do is name it. So if I say hello world, it will launch my program except for one thing. Linux keeps track of where your executable files are in a variable that is kept track of by the operating system, and it is called the path. So if I just try to run hello world, it's going to say it can't find it. If I'd like to know what the path is, I can do cat string path. And so there is my path. And these are the directories that Linux will automatically look in order to find executable programs. User, lib64, MPI, and then bin. Bin stands for binary. And so a lot of executable programs are binary files. If it doesn't find my program in there, then it will look in this location next. So I have my own personal bin folder. Then if it doesn't find what I typed there, then it will look in this folder or directory, and then it will look in user games. Okay, so it's kind of a more advanced topic in order to add something to the path. So luckily we don't have to worry about that, because you can give it the entire path name if you want to. So I can do pwd again. And then so if I wanted to run my program, I can say home, inst, and then my home directory name, which is my login name, and then I can say hello world. Okay, that's a lot of typing to do, right? So it turns out that this directory, which is my current directory, is kept track of in another shortcut, and it's just one dot. Okay, so 2 dots is the parent directory, 1 dot is the current directory. I also have to put the slash there because the dot only keeps track of this part all the way up to the slash, but not including the slash. So I have to say dot slash hello world. So whenever you compile one of your programs, all you have to do to launch it is do dot slash and then name your program, and then you can run it right there in your terminal. Okay, I'm going to stop here and create another video to show what can happen if we have a syntax error. So that'll be in the next video. I'm done with my terminal window right now, so I'm just going to type exit. And now I'm back on my personal computer. Okay.